Greetings and peace, you guys. Welcome back to Unshakable with April Chapman, where we discuss all things social, cultural, political, and theological from a biblical perspective. I'm back again, and as promised, I wanted to react to this video that I found because it explains perfectly something that I've been saying for a very, very long time. So I want to share it with you guys, and we're going to react to it. Take a look at this.
LBJ replaced black fatherhood in two-parent homes with the welfare system. And the left is so invested in this as a strategy that they are legit saying it out loud.
Yes.
The decision today in Louisiana versus Calais completes the set because it effectively dismantles the last leg in the Voting Rights Act's protections, which was for redistricting. Whereas previously, the Voting Rights Act had said when a state draws districts in ways that have the effect of diluting the voting power of racial minorities, of effectively making it so racial minorities' votes count for less than white voters, and that they can never elect the candidates of their choice.
You mean the candidates of the Democrats' party's choice.
Right.
See, Democrats need majority black districts because they can't win without it. Why? Look, Democrats have swindled probably trillions of dollars since LBJ and given it specifically to black people in America. Massive welfare benefits to buy votes. Destroyed the black family structure to an extent that the black and out of wedlock birth rate went from 22% pre-LBJ, pre-civil rights, to 70% today. Look, I realize this is uncomfortable for some people. We're probably going to get a write-up from some liberal rag. But go look up LBJ and the quotes of how he thought about controlling the black. But you can't even put that stuff on TV, folks. But the product of all those policies that, as you can see here, all these studies show that a fatherless household leads to higher crime in children, specifically gun homicides. And in the same districts that ironically Democrats want to redistrict into their caucus as they campaign against the criminal justice system, like we saw with nearly every single Democrat kneeling to the Black Lives Matter movement and opposing police, defund the police movement, remember that?
Right.
It resulted in the black population having higher crime stats that lined up with the Democrat congressional district that was just overturned. Democrats are literally engineering the destruction of the black community and campaigning on themselves as the only solution to make themselves more dependent on the very system that's victimizing them.
Did you hear that? Y'all, Carl, call your girl. We need to talk. First of all, I want to highlight the bravery of Newsmax to say this out loud. If you don't do anything else, you need to share this video of Carl here and my commentary that will follow far and wide. He just explained to you that, I know y'all get upset and uncomfortable when I talk about slavery being a choice. He just demonstrated that slavery is still happening today, and it absolutely is a choice, because the same people, you see this map, how this map is drawn? The people who are subjugating you are the ones who look like you, and they're the ones in control of your districts, and the way they do it is no different than a master-slave relationship. Let me just give them a little something. You know, just like the slave on the plantation, they'd give you a little pork, you know, a little salt pork here and there, a little this, a little that. Let you come and go visit another plantation, you know, every now and again. Would even let you get married for the most part. But functioning in your freedom? Oh, no. Can't do that. Can't do that. You claim you care about black lives, but you want to defund the police, knowing that these communities are the ones who need the police, not because of the white Republicans that are coming in there terrorizing the neighborhood, but because of Taquayshawn and them. Right? He literally, this was the whole purpose of creating the welfare state, and a part of the Voting Rights Act. LBJ figured out how we can keep these ninjas voting Democrat for the next 200 years. Just give them a little political power. And what we'll do is we will create perpetual dependence. We'll get the man out of the home right? The core and the bedrock of what the black community used to be, led by men, will put the women in charge. There goes your matriarchal squalor. Completely decimate the family. So now there's no structure, there's no order, there's no male headship, no male influence. The children are unruly because women can't control them. And now the women don't even want a pair bond and be with a man. And so the fatherless rate goes up, which causes literacy rates to be impacted and the crime rate to spike. Look at that. It was a recipe to secure the Democrat vote for decades. And it worked. Carl, you the man. Thank you so much for being brave enough to say this out loud. Let's finish watching.
This is horrifically racist strategy, but it's electorally effective for the Democrats.
Yeah.
But it's made the black community heavily dependent on the government.
This is why the black community, even though America is a capitalist nation and it has thrived and flourished off of capitalism, this is why you see in the black community, it is a sub-microcosm. We have a Marxist, communist, socialistic enclave within America, and it's called the black community because we are a they are government dependents. Even there are individuals within the black middle class that believe that it's not that I don't believe that healthcare is not a right. Healthcare is absolutely a right. You have a right to have healthcare and you have a right to pay for it. What you don't have a right is to make me pay for your healthcare. I'm not subsidizing your healthcare, just like I don't want to subsidize your high calorie menu choices. I don't want to subsidize another person's destruction. Healthcare is a right, and I have a right to provide the healthcare that I want for myself. But the government doesn't have a right to demand that I use my money to subsidize healthcare for someone else. Within the black community, we believe that healthcare is a right that government is supposed to provide for. We believe that government is supposed to feed us. Government is supposed to house us. Government is supposed to help us raise our children in the form of free childcare. We believe we've become so dependent. The concept of working to provide for one's own household it's almost a personal attack. And we take personal offense to it because we've had so many generations of not just bastards raising bastards, but our work ethic has been diminished to where we're like, I mean, we can work, but like for everything? Well, what is the government gonna do? That's how slaves think. Slaves look to the master to provide them with clothing, a roof over their head, food in their belly, and to keep them busy and occupied, whether that's with a vice or a little break time from picking cotton. We in a socialistic nation have become a socialist, Black Americans in a capitalistic nation have become a socialistic enclave because of LBJ's policies. And we can lay the claim at the feet of LBJ all day long, but he didn't do it without the civil rights community's help. It was Martin Luther King who got us in the mindset of government dependence and not economic independence and entrepreneurship and capitalism. No. He's the one that was like, when we get our check, we've come to get our check. The whole Poor People's Campaign was an appeal to the U.S. government to provide to provide health care, jobs, food, and minimum basic income. Essentially, it's the manifesto of the Democratic Socialists of America, i.e. the communists. So we can be mad at LBJ, fine, but he didn't do it without the cooperation or the participation of the black intelligentsia and the black civil rights movement and the black faith community, i.e. the pulpit pimp preachers. So all of them are at fault. They're all at fault. There are no victims here. And then the black community, we were presented with alternatives. Like, you can vote for whoever you want, but who do they vote for? They vote for the melanated Marxists. And you don't want me to believe that slavery is not a choice. You're still choosing it now. You choose it every election cycle. Every time you go in there and you like, are they black? Well, if they're black and Democrat, then I'm going to vote for them. It don't matter that the outcomes are trash and they've done nothing to allow me to function in my own freedom. But people would rather the comforts of slavery than the unknown and untold possibility of personal responsibility and free agency.
The great psychiatrist Carl Jung said, "It is not what happens to me, it's what I choose to become."
I'm not trying to scare nobody, but we are in danger.
In Slavery is a Choice, we ask the question, do you choose to be free or do you choose to be a slave?
So you feel like a victim?
I'm a victim. I'm a victim of white supremacy. Yeah.
And so are they holding you back financially?
So, well, they can.
Most black people sit at the bottom of every socioeconomic statistic in America because we still deal with the same slave mentality that says, I had no choice.
Those of us that now insist that we're no longer being oppressed and that it's ourselves that are now our worst enemies are in fact gullible, naive, and are ignorant of the true reality.
If you walk around saying that you're oppressed, you're not a man. And you're not an American. When you say you're oppressed, I'm saying you're an heir of Jesus Christ, you're a child of God. Nobody can oppress you.
Our religious heritage is rooted in the regrettable experience of slavery.
And I'm scared. Scared.
When you talk about the vestiges of slavery, that is the vestige of it. A mentality that says, I cannot change my plight, I cannot change my life, I have no choice. The man who says he is free and the man that says he is a slave are both correct. Slavery is a choice.
Let's let him finish.
And oppose Republican policies to enforce law and order to such an extent that it has brought over 80% voting loyalty by the black community to Democrats.
Yep.
By essentially financially and socially enslaving black people to the Democrat Party once again.
He proved my point. Slavery's choice. And we are watching modern day slavery today. The Democrats are the plantation. They're the pioneers of the plantation. They've always been the overseers. They've always been the masters. And it still exists today. It has been socially engineered this way. Carl, you are a genius. And he didn't figure this out on his own. We've been saying this. Me and my colleagues. We've been saying this. I've been saying this since I've been out here on the internet. And now what we've been saying is now mainstream. Keep them dependent and they'll keep coming back, begging, whining, and crying for a little more. And this Louisiana map breaks all of that up, and it's going to be hard to challenge. Florida's going to do the same thing. He's going to break it all up, and it's going to be hard to challenge because it ain't based on race. Georgia, we right behind you. Let's get it done. I'm here for it. This is a great day. It's a great day to be a black conservative. Absolutely it is.
But here's the real reason Democrats are big bad. They don't give a damn about black people's representation, as I've clearly pointed out. They care about winning seats. That's all.
Yes.
And
Democrats.
racial gerrymandering was one of their last mechanisms to do it. So two things happen now. One, watch how fast Democrats abandon their black allies in these states because they're no longer of value to them.
They don't need them.
This is the fallout from today's decision. Look at this. Unbelievable. This is going to be a 24-seat swing. 12 that the Democrats were going to lose that Republicans will now pick up. Now,
pick them up.
If you add Texas and Missouri in this new district map that Florida just passed today, by the way, it'll sign by DeSantis any minute now, it could come up as high as 19. That means a 38-point swing because of this ruling today. 38 seats could swing. Not to mention the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, is now actively, quote, analyzing redistricting Georgia as of 2 hours ago. You combine all this with the next census that will not include illegals, blue states could lose as many as 40 to 50 total seats over the next 4 years, which makes a Democrat-controlled House nearly impossible for the foreseeable future, which is great because the Republicans in Congress aren't exactly exciting turnout right now because they're not really doing a lot or anything.
Let me tell you something. Did y'all see that red wave? We didn't have to cheat to do it. All we had to do was get rid of the racism. All we had to do was get rid of the racism, take away the Democrat Party's crutch, which is its black constituents. Without the blacks, they can't win. And if you are a black American and you are a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, what were you getting for it anyway? Nothing but more subjugation and more oppression and more government dependence. They've made you a modern day slave without the chains and ideologically slaved your mind so much so that you can't even think and imagine that you can do anything for yourself apart from the government's help. Their plan worked, but we have taken some wind out of their sails, and the South absolutely is going to now actually reflect what the will of the people there represent. Atlanta, even though it's a blue stronghold, in order for Georgia, because it's kind of purple now, this needed to happen. Florida, absolutely. Louisiana, absolutely. Get rid of the racial gerrymandering. That is only one of many ways. Notice how the freedom, this freedom that, or I'll say the opportunity of freedom that has come for the blacks was done without their knowledge, participation, or their permission. The blacks didn't even ask for this. You know why? They didn't even see it as a problem. They didn't even connect that the poor outcomes in their communities was because they keep voting for other black Democrats. They didn't even make the connection. And so just like in the Civil War, then the Union Army had to come down to protect and free the blacks from white subjugation and oppression. The same thing is happening now, where the Supreme Court had to say, hey, all this racial stuff is wrong. We're going to take these training wheels off. You can compete, go in the world and function in your freedom. And the blacks are crashing out. What? What you mean? No, what you mean we got to go function in our freedom? We don't know nothing about no freedom. All I know, I was just a slave. I don't know nothing else. Well, it's time to learn. It's time to learn. Just like a parent, you got a toddler that just refuses to walk, and you gonna walk today. We about to put them hard white baby shoes on, and we about to drag you around this place until your legs get strengthened enough and you start walking on your own. And this is what makes Democrats angry, because they're losing their power. They are losing their grip on power. They ain't gonna know what to do. Oh, Lord, they ain't gonna know what to do. All the money. Now we're gonna see where the money really been going. All the money that these congressmen go to D.C. and get back for their districts, but you like, well, why it still look like a war zone? Why does it still look like nothing? Why? It's because they ain't doing nothing with it. They are amassing wealth for themselves, but they're not doing anything to improve the districts that they serve. So anyway, I'm curious to know, what do you think? What did you think about Carl's commentary over there on Newsmax? You should write to them and thank them for that segment. Do you agree with his assessment that the reason why the black community has been stuck is because Democrats have kept us at a stalemate by keeping us controlled and giving us just enough, but keeping us dependent? Or if you be like, nope, it's racist. It's just got to be racism. Whatever it is that you think, leave me your comments down in the box below. Until next time, you guys, stand firm, stay bold, and above all else, stay unshakable. Grace and peace.